Hello everybody, it's Diana here from Astrology and welcome to the overview about what to expect during the upcoming Capricorn full moon. And I'm also going to be exploring some of the other rather intense energies that will be dancing in the sky over the next month. So the full moon occurs in Capricorn on the July the 25th at 3 a.m. and that's Australian Eastern Standard Time. Before I go on, I will just like to remind you to follow, share, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you would like to. Okay, enough about that. All right, so this is the full moon of work-life balance. It's asking us to stop and assess how well we are doing in both areas of our lives and ensuring that these polarities are in harmony. So the sun has just moved into Cancer, the sign that rules our inner life, our homes, our family, where and how we nurture ourselves and how we nurture others. And the moon in Capricorn is in opposition, and this represents our outer world, how we approach our responsibilities, our careers, our public standing, our ambitions and our reputation. And these are some of the traditional meanings of the Cancer and Capricorn, but on an inner level, these energies can reveal much more about how our inner world affects our outer world and vice versa. So Cancer is indeed a water sign. It's emotive, it's deep, it's reflective, protective, caring, and it certainly works in the feeling realms. The moon is ruled by Cancer, which provides us with, I guess, a kind of a glimpse as to how this energy works. It is changeable. It's sometimes moody. It's ebbing and flowing like the tides, but it's also nurturing. It's caring. It's introspective and very often family focused. Family, of course, can mean more than our biological family. Like family are the people with whom we intimately share our lives, those who know us, warts and all. It's those people with whom we build our sense of security and stability around, and those on whom we depend emotionally. Well, that's what I think of when I think of family. On the flip side, Capricorn is an energy. It's very much about not needing anybody, standing on one's own 2 feet, growing up, meeting the outer world and functioning in the public sphere, but learning not to need anybody's approval. That's the key for Capricorn. It needs to work with integrity to better the self in achieving something really real in the world, reflecting their inner values that can be of benefit to others, but ultimately of benefit to themselves. And so at the moment, we are in the middle of the year, and in Australia, we've just passed the shortest day of the year with the winter solstice happening just prior to this full moon. So this is a time to stop and reflect on how we are traveling. We began the year with the sun in Capricorn and the first full moon in Cancer. We set up our goals for the year, our resolutions, which is all very much in line with Capricorn's energy of planning and goal setting and achieving. But now in reverse, this full moon's asking us on one level to review and make any changes that we may need to make to our priorities, to our goals, and to our ambitions. And given it's a full moon, we need to examine like what areas in our lives, in our home and our outer lives, I should say, are actually being illuminated now. How are our plans working out? What do we need to achieve or commit to on a practical level? The full moon's always a time of releasing what no longer serves us. So when we're working with this energy, we can review and reassess anything that could be holding us back from achieving our outer world ambitions. We can ask ourselves, are we holding ourselves back? And if so, why? Are we too locked into pleasing our family perhaps and not forging ahead in fear of keeping them happy? Or the reverse. Capricorn is also very much about responsibility and being dutiful, but this is also a time of reviewing whether we're being too dutiful and responsible or not enough. Capricorn is also about growing up, standing on our own 2 feet. So this might be a time to come to terms with that very notion and make changes that enable us to be more independent, less reliant on others, and face our realities. Now, Capricorn, around all this time, Capricorn's also ruled by the planet Saturn, which approximately 10 days before this full moon will make an exact square to Uranus. This Saturn-Uranus square it's a combination that's really strong throughout the entire year, with 3 sort of direct hits. There was one in February, the one we're experiencing now, and another in December. So Saturn being emphasized by this full moon is serious and heavy, and equally asking us to reassess where we may have taken on too much, worked too hard, overcommitted ourselves, and review what we could possibly shed to release and free us up. So it's kind of like a reality check about assessing our priorities and possibly assessing, and possibly, you know, putting new goals and commitments together. The good news is that Mercury is now direct, it's out of retrograde, and it's making a harmonious energy to Saturn. So this is going to enable us to think a little bit more clearly about what we want for the rest of the year, and plan how we're going to put any of our new ideas or goals into action. Jupiter will also be supporting us in Pisces, which is making a really harmonious energy to both the moon and the sun during the full moon. This is also going to enable us to get some deeper wisdom, deeper meaning to what we're currently experiencing, or simply just allow us to go with the flow for a little bit, perhaps slow down, recuperate as we approach the year's halfway point. Okay, so, but wait, there's more. We also have had Mars move into the sign of Leo, and around the beginning of July, Mars will be in opposition to Saturn, the ruler of this full moon. Now, this might throw us some push-pull kind of energy, especially about how we want to go about setting our new priorities, as Mars in Leo can be very much about doing things our own way and forging ahead. However, as it comes into play with Saturn, we might be forced to stop and think about how our actions might be affecting others, and how our actions might affect our everyday responsibilities. So in one way or another, we might need to pause and review. We might receive some pushback from an authority figure or family members in our lives, people such as our bosses. So either way, we're going to be asked to pause and make sure that we have all of our ducks in a row before moving ahead. In the long run, this is probably a good thing, but it can feel really frustrating, especially in early July, because Mars will also be making a square energy to Uranus whilst in opposition to Saturn. So this energy can really shake things up a bit. It might manifest as unexpected events, or a feeling of wanting to break free, or being somewhat reckless, a bit hyperactive. And I believe it's really going to be essential to be cautious though, because we might be feeling extra impulsive and impatient, taking more significant risks, which makes us more prone to injury and carelessness. So just be careful. Meanwhile, Saturn is saying, no, if you get into that Ferrari, so to speak, drive it with the handbrakes on. So that's, I hope, explains somehow how that energy is going to work. Following this, we get a dance of Venus in Cancer, making an opposition to Pluto in Capricorn. Now, Venus in Cancer can represent the women in our lives, as Venus is the archetypal feminine energy, and so is Cancer. So it can represent how we value our family, how we value ourselves, our relationships with money, our relationships with women, our relationships with our intimate partners. And in opposition to Pluto, we can face some power struggles in one or more of these areas, either with people or internally. So Pluto in opposition asks us to face reality, to, you know, really have a good hard look at some of these areas, and face any past wounds that we may have buried associated with any of these areas of life as well. Pluto digs under the surface of life and insists that we make some transformative change, get over things and move on. So it might actually be a little bit of an uncomfortable energy for a few days in early July. But then later, Venus is going to enter Leo and help release some of the challenges of this period. So there's quite a lot going on up until we approach the new moon in Cancer on July the 10th. And as usual, if you're interested in discovering how astrology can help your journey, please book in for a consultation online or in person. Just go to aspectastrology.com.au, or you can email me. All the details are on the website. Stay safe, enjoy your family, enjoy setting some new goals, take a little bit of time out, and I'll see you around the 10th for the next new moon.